Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the Medium in the Middle. On this podcast, I share my journey as a developing psychic medium, as a Reiki master teacher, as an Akashic record practitioner, and anything else that's thrown my way. Hello, Middlers. Welcome to episode 181. My name is Stephanie. I am the Medium in the Middle. And the podcast is turning 4 in a few weeks. 4 years old. We've been on the air. Holy moly. I just looked up and it's 333. Love that. Message for somebody. 333, if that's your sign. I got asked this question in a Reiki training, and I think it's a great question, and I get asked this a lot. Is this normal? Is that normal? Is this normal? And I really want to talk about that on the podcast when you're doing energy healing, what is and isn't normal. In my Reiki trainings, I'm constantly saying not to expect fireworks, but the question of, well, what can we expect? We're not saying it going to happen, but if it could happen, like what are all the options? So I'm going to talk about that today. First, I'm going to pull a card, and I wanted to pull from the mediumship training deck. And I got the card Calling Cards from Heaven, which I thought was so nice. Your loved ones are never more than a thought away. They're always around, sending you little signs like breadcrumbs on your path. You've selected this card as a reminder to reach out for a sign from heaven. Sending love, thoughts, and prayers from your heart to your spirit loved ones to indicate that you're ready to receive a sign of their love and support. Have faith and trust that they'll hear your prayers. Remember, your loved ones know how to get your attention. It could be a song on the radio, a bird perched on the windowsill, or a feather. The list is endless. Intuitively, you'll always know when you're getting messages from heaven. You'll feel it in your soul, and you'll know who sent it. Learn to trust those first instincts. Your loved ones and guides want you to know when they're around. In the practice of mediumship, you can reach out to spirit and ask what signs they most frequently leave for their loved ones. Share your insight with your recipients. This can be a great validation to know their loved one is present. It's important to be open, aware, and patient. Allow time for the flow of grace to happen. Sometimes they'll send you a message when you least expect it. Always share a moment of gratitude to Spirit for the love they bring. Ooh, Calling Cards from Heaven. A nice reminder that Spirit's always sending you messages. So just 2 quick announcements before we jump into the episode. The first announcement is that there will be no new podcast next week. I'm actually going to visit my family in Ontario for a week. I hope to bring you some Taita content on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram at Medium in the Middle if you don't already. I post a lot of stuff over there, and just as a reminder, I only have one Instagram, but there's a lot of scammers, so just be careful. At Medium in the Middle is my only account, and I'll be back the next week, back to regular Wednesday programming. And I know it's summertime and everyone's busy, but back by popular demand is the Advanced Reiki Practitioner Masterclass. It's being held on August 12th, live from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., and this is continued education for after Reiki Level 2. You don't have to be my Reiki Level 2 student, but if you want to work in Reiki, this is going to help you master your client experience, which will help you grow your clientele, and also understand deeper how energy moves through the body. So just a lot of things that I think you need if you're going to work in Reiki. Level 2 is already a really big course, and there's a lot that isn't taught when you actually want to go to work in Reiki. So this is great if you want to start a business, if you want to improve your skills, if you want to expand. Everyone gets the replay, so even if you can't make it live, that will be on August 12th, 1 to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's a 3-hour masterclass. Very excited to run this again. I'll leave all the links you need down below in the show notes. So today's episode is all about what you can feel. And I'm going to blanket this over what you can feel when you're giving Reiki or receiving Reiki, because either person can feel this, both one or the other. And I just want to start out by saying, yes, this is all normal. All can happen when energy is moving and releasing through your body. I like to say that your feet and your hands are like drains, and as the energy is moving towards your drains, lots of different things can happen. So I'm just going to list things that can or cannot happen. I always describe in my Reiki trainings that you're not going to have fireworks all of a sudden at 3 o'clock starting to come from your hands. There's not going to be dancing leprechauns and fairy dust thrown in the air. It's going to be very subtle, but I also don't talk about what it could feel like. I'm usually always focused on bringing down people's expectations of super hot hands or all of a sudden knowing everything about the person laying in front of you. And that's not the outcome that we're looking for. That's usually our ego wanting a bunch of confirmation for the self. But we're not talking about ego today, so we'll keep that conversation for another time. But I'm going to just say all the things that could or could not happen when you're giving or receiving Reiki. Again, this doesn't have to happen to mean that it's working. You don't have to feel anything for it to be working. I know it's a very hard concept to accept because we all want to feel something. We want confirmation. But the more and more you work with Reiki, you're really building your trust and understanding, what do you feel? How do you know it's working? And more things could be added to this list. This isn't everything. This is just everything that's coming to my mind right now as I record this podcast. Here we go. Things that could or could not happen. You could feel warm, you could feel cold. And that warmth or cold could be in your hands, in your feet, in your nose, in your face, in your chest, anywhere in your body. It could be on just a single area of your body. You could feel tingling all over, one side, whole side, just your hand, just your arm, just your foot, just your toe. You could all of a sudden have a big exhale. You could yawn. You could just open your mouth like a yawn, even though it's not a yawn. You could burp. You could have to cough or feel like something is stuck in your throat. You could sneeze. You could sneeze multiple times. You can start to receive messages. You can start to receive names. You can start to see images. Random things can pop into your mind for no reason. An item, a person, a thing. Your conscious and subconscious mind can play tricks on you. You can feel something in the room. You can hear things. You can sense things. All of your senses are going, right? Remember that Reiki is awareness. So it's bringing awareness to your body and your energy and your senses. So usually your eyes are closed, but your third eye could start to see things. You could start to hear things, sound, that your ears could buzz. You could have ringing in the ears. You might all of a sudden smell something, a cologne, a flower. Messages can be through smell. You all of a sudden might have a taste in your mouth. You all of a sudden might feel something on your body. You might be very aware of certain areas of your body. You can have heightened emotions in any direction. So you can be really happy, really sad. You can be angry. You can be irritated. You can feel the need to want to cry. You can feel an overwhelm of emotion. When we're balancing your energy, a lot can happen to get you back into balance. I use the analogy often in my courses of a shaken up pop bottle. So imagine life, you are a pop bottle and life shakes you up, shakes you up, shakes you up. When you open your pop bottle, where's the pop going to go? We don't know. It could go everywhere. It could just go to the left. It could spray up. It could spray down. It could spray just to the right. But what we're dealing with is how the pop sprays out of the bottle and then cleaning that up. That's what we're doing in a Reiki session. So all of these things can occur afterwards, during, because your energy is balancing, it's moving and releasing towards your drains. So we covered the senses. Might feel warm, might feel cold, might feel tingling. Your body might all of a sudden feel heavy. It might all of a sudden feel light. A certain area of your body might feel heavy or light. You could all of a sudden have pain in your body that belongs to the client. The client could have a random vision or something come to mind for them. They could all of a sudden start thinking of when they were 7 years old. You might have pain in your body that is actually the client's pain. So if you have like a ping in your left shoulder, that might be, it's their left shoulder. If you start to cough, it could be their throat. If they cough, it's their throat releasing. Your tummy can gurgle. Your chest can feel tight. You can all of a sudden have to go to the washroom. I've had people have to get up in the middle of a session because things are moving, things are releasing. You can feel pain, you can feel pressure in your temples, you can feel your mind racing, you can feel things that are related to the client, like a racing mind that they can't fall asleep, active dreams, what's their third eye doing. You can be aware of their chakras and how they're feeling. The client can start to become aware of that as well, be like, oh wow, like my third eye feels really cloudy or really gray or really unclear right now. I didn't notice that until I lied down. Ooh, I didn't notice my hips feel uneven. So your right side, left side can feel uneven, top and bottom, side to side, front and back. All of that can feel uneven or all of a sudden even and more relaxed. Your eyes can feel heavy. Your body can feel heavy or light. Sorry if I'm repeating things. I'm just trying to think of all the possible things that could happen to, number one, make you feel not so alone, and number two, know that this is normal, and number three, know that energy can release and move in a million different ways, which is why all of these things are possible. Your nose can start to run or get itchy. Your fingertips can get itchy. Your toes can get itchy. Anywhere on your body can get itchy, hot, cold, irritated. Sometimes in extreme cases, you can get a rash in certain areas if something is processing. That's pretty rare, but it can happen. I've seen it happen. You can get stuffed up. So during the session, it can really start to bring things up, and that can congest you as it exits. It's going to literally exit as mucus, and you might have to blow your nose a lot. You might have to go to the washroom a lot. Afterwards, you can become very thirsty, very hungry, very tired, very energized. Everyone's different with how their energy moves and releases, so everyone will be different with what they feel afterwards. But this is just a range of all the things. I usually find that people feel light or heavy if they need to be grounded. They can feel tired if we just did a lot of work, or they can feel energized if we just took 1,000,000 pounds off their shoulders. They can feel almost always very thirsty. You can still feel a little bit out of it after a Reiki session as everything's settling. So energy keeps moving and releasing for 1 to 3 days with Reiki. So that's the processing time. That's as everything's moving and releasing and working. It can take 1 to 3 days for everything to kick in. So during that 3 days, you can feel 1, 2, 5, all of these things. You can feel nothing. You can feel better. You can just feel relaxed. You can feel calmer. You could feel lighter. You could feel like you fell asleep. You could be very aware of your feet. Your feet could feel heavy or light. You could be very aware of your toes or your heels. So these are just some examples of what you can feel during an energy session. Again, as the giver or receiver of Reiki, and all of these things would be considered normal. A normal way of energy releasing, a normal way of how your body is reacting to energy. You can also feel absolutely nothing in a session, and that is normal. I've done things where I felt nothing in my hands the entire time. My hands don't get warm, they don't get cold. My eyes don't flutter, they don't squeeze shut, they don't stay open, nothing happens. But in the last 5 minutes, it all makes sense, or it all comes together. So just be very mindful of the ego, what you want to occur, what feedback you want, and why, because it's usually just for us. It's usually just because we need that confirmation. And it's different when you're learning and trying out a new skill, trying to understand these things. And then it's a different conversation of the ego needing to hear the feedback. So I hope that was helpful, insightful to what energy can feel like in your body, and knowing that all of these things are normal. Don't worry, you are safe, it is okay, but how the energy moves for every single person is going to be different because we all have different bodies, we all have different spots where the energy holds, and how it releases is going to be different for every single person. If you haven't already, please leave the podcast a rating and a review. It really helps me out in the podcast world. Send this to someone who maybe needs to feel a little bit more normal in their energy and know that this is all okay. You are safe. Reiki is always for the highest good and it's always out of love, so it'll never cause harm. But the pop can get on the walls and on the floor, and then we have to clean it up. Because as your energy releases, as it goes out, things can happen, but it needs to leave. And it's better after it exits. You will always feel better. I will leave all the links you need down below in the show notes if you want to book with me for in-person sessions in Banff, Alberta, or online sessions. Just a reminder to book in advance. I book about a month out. I look forward to seeing you. And until 2 Wednesdays from now, Middlers, when I see you in your ears, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you're all enjoying the summer and the beautiful weather. Take me with you on a walk by the pool in the patios. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody.